parked in the 6300 block of Orchard Avenue. Police say the man got back into his vehicle when they tried to arrest him, and an officer shot at him. Soon after, dozens of people showed up at the scene, leading to an emotionally charged standoff between them and police. Kate Raditz begins our team coverage with the victim.
You notice they can't wait to put the Black Lives Matter. You know, you couldn't wait to see that, and it's on the police truck. But you know, they couldn't wait to put that there. That's propaganda.
Emotionally charged standoff between them and police. Kate Raditz begins our team coverage with the victim's family.
He was only 20 years old, and he deserved to be shot and killed like this.
Katie Wright came to the scene where she says her 20-year-old son, Dante Wright, was killed. She says that he called her right before the shooting.
Dante,
Pulled over by the police, and I said, well, why did you get pulled over? And he said they pulled him over because he had air fresheners hanging from the rearview mirror.
A crowd gathered outside the crime tape demanding answers about the young father. Some of the crowd was hostile, threatening police and media.
I think pain and grief. I mean, trauma. We're already in a trial with George Floyd.
Activist Lisa Clemens came to support the family. Authorities believe the officers involved had their body cameras on.
I'm hopeful that they expressed their grief in a safe way, and I'm hopeful that the body cam video shed some light on what happened.
Police say after the victim was shot during
all European cops.
Traffic stop, he continued to drive several blocks and struck another vehicle.
A minute later, I called, and his girlfriend answered, which was the passenger in the car, and said that he'd been shot.
Authorities say officers attempted life-saving measures, but he died at the scene.
We're at a breaking point as a people.
Kate Raditz, WCCO 4 News.
Police say that female passenger in the vehicle was taken to the hospital to be treated for minor injuries. The BCA will conduct an independent investigation. Our David Schumann is live in Brooklyn Center tonight. He joins us now. David, what are you seeing? What are you hearing?
Hey, Jeff, this is a very active standoff right now. We're real close to what's going on. I want to show you. In front of the Brooklyn Center Police Department are dozens of officers in riot gear. And the way that this thing has progressed is that they started up against the building and they're stretched down the line across to the end of the parking lot. And every couple minutes, they take a few steps forward. They were chanting, move back, move back. And when they move forward, they push the protesters back, who now are mostly in the street and across the street. But they started in the parking lot of the police department chanting Dante Wright, the victim's name, chanting things like, hands up, don't shoot. And the officers have deployed tear gas, flashbangs, smoke grenades, all in an effort to get protesters to stay back. And you can.
Now, earlier they said it's already an unlawful assembly, but when you beat them with numbers, yeah, they have to enforce it if they can. If you got numbers that says they can't enforce
There
it.
are probably hundreds of people here and dozens of officers in that riot gear in a tight formation in that line. But the protesters are not backing down by any means. They are almost emboldened in a sense by the officers' tactics because they say that's not de-escalation. It's almost like the officers are playing into what the protesters believe the police are. So this is active right now, tense. Every couple minutes the officers are deploying these tactics that they have, the tear gas into the crowd. We've heard a few people need medics. We don't know the extent of their injuries right now. But we're going to be out here and continuing to watch this.
What's he doing on his knees?
David, have you been able to tell if police made any arrests out there tonight?
It doesn't look like they have made any arrests because they are not risking coming out into the crowd at all. I don't know if anything happened at the earlier site, the crash site where Dante Wright crashed his car. But here at the police station, the police are staying in a tight formation, not venturing out into the crowd.
Because they're outnumbered.
We had video from before that when protesters were jumping up on police squad cars.
And they don't want it to start just yet. They're going to wait for it to fully start after that Floyd shit.
The police department and the protesters marched over, and this has become where things are.
Rough Riders is out there.
We'll be back with you throughout the show.
All right, David, thank you for that update.